Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. For today's video, I thought it might be fun to show you how I made this farmhouse bathroom sign using products only from Walmart and the Dollar Tree. Let's get started. You'll need 2 of these paddle cutting boards from the Dollar Tree, a pack of these giant craft sticks from Walmart, and some nautical rope from the Dollar Tree. I used Rust-Oleum's 2X paint and primer from Walmart because it can be used on lots of different types of materials. I also used Apple Barrel in Snow White and Pewter Gray, both from Walmart, and they're only like 50 cents a tube. I'm a big fan of using a combination of hot glue and E6000, both of which can be found at Walmart. If you don't have a hot glue gun, no worries. And if you decide that you don't want to use E6000, the Dollar Tree has a gel super glue that's a really good alternative. Seen in many other YouTube videos, I used the large poster letters for the word wash, but then I also found these smaller kind of puffy jot stickers that hold paint really well, so I was excited to find these. And these letters will be used for the smaller words. The first thing you're going to do is apply a thin line of glue, whether it be E6000 or super glue, along the edge of one of the cutting boards. Then you will carefully line it up with the edge of the other cutting board. Right now we are working on the back side of the sign, creating stability for when we move to the front. Next, take one of your giant craft sticks and apply some glue. If you do have hot glue, now is the time to also add that to the back of the craft stick. The good strong glue like E6000 or super glue will help keep things in place over time, but the hot glue will keep things in place right now. So again, if you don't have hot glue, it's fine. Things just might be a little bit less stable while you're working on your project. You will repeat this technique 2 more times with craft sticks that you will place at the bottom of the sign and the middle. Again, this will create a really good strong bond at the point where the 2 cutting boards meet. Now I'm going to measure the length of the sign so I know how long each row needs to be when I'm cutting my craft sticks. I discovered the sign is 16 inches long, and I also discovered that the sign is exactly 4 of these giant craft sticks high. Now it's time to create a foundation for the rows of craft sticks to lay on. Where the 2 cutting boards meet, there's a bit of a lip. So when it came time for you to create your rows of craft sticks, it wouldn't lay very flat when one of them crossed that center point. I cut down one of the craft sticks so it would be the height of the sign, and I glued it to the center of one of the cutting boards. And once I was finished with that, I did the same thing on the other side. I cut a 3rd craft stick down to size and then divided it in half vertically. I glued one half of that craft stick to the far left of the sign, and then I glued the other half of the craft stick towards the middle of the sign. As you can probably see, my dog just hit the table and shook everything, but that's what dogs do. Next, I did the exact same thing on the other side. Now we have a really good foundation of craft sticks to glue our rows to when the time comes. Now it's time to work on the smaller letters that we will be using. Again, these are by the brand Jot and they're slightly puffy. They hold paint really well, so I was excited to use them. We will be using these letters for the words please and your hands. Once I have the letters cut out and in the correct order, I flip them over, run a piece of tape across the back, flip them back the correct way, and then I tape them directly to the envelope. I'm just going to spray paint the sign and the letters directly on this envelope because then once I'm done, I can simply throw it away. Also, be sure you remove the centers of the letters that need it before you spray paint. It'll just make your life a lot easier. And now it's time to spray paint. You can certainly do more than 1 coat if you want, but I only did 1 and I honestly think it was enough. While the paint is drying, we'll start cutting down the craft sticks for the rows. There are many different ways that you can cut down these craft sticks, but I found that this way works the best for me personally. As you can see, I used a paper cutter to score the top of the craft stick, and then I take a needle nose pliers to break off the end. As I mentioned earlier in the video, the sign will be 16 inches long. I decided to keep it really simple and cut down my craft sticks in a way that each row will have 1 stick that is 8 inches long, and then 2 sticks that are 4 inches long. And then I would just arrange them differently in each row. Right now I'm cutting down my first 8-inch craft stick. Using a pen, I mark where 8 inches is on the craft stick, and then I will use the paper cutter to score on that line, and then again with the needle nose pliers I'll break off the end. Once I'm finished, I should have 4 craft sticks that are 8 inches long and 8 craft sticks that are 4 inches long. Now that they're all cut down to size, I can start painting. Again, I'm using this apple barrel paint in Snow White. I only did 1 coat of paint, but you can certainly do more if you think it necessary. Now that the paint is dry, we can start distressing. I very carefully dipped an old makeup brush into the white paint, and then I wiped off the excess paint along the inside of the cup because you don't want too much on there. Then I just started dry brushing over the parts of the sign that won't be covered by the craft sticks. I got a little bit of white paint on the letters, but it was totally fine. I just ended up re-spray painting it later. Now let's assemble our sign using the 8-inch pieces and the 4-inch pieces. When I first started, I put the glue directly onto the craft stick, but then after that first one, I realized that I can just put a little bit of glue on those foundational craft stick pieces that we did at the beginning, so there was no need to use excess glue, and it worked just fine. As long as you don't wait too long, E6000 is very forgiving and you can always rearrange pieces that you're not happy with. Now it's time to distress the sign itself. So we're using this pewter gray by Apple Barrel, and then I used another old makeup brush because that's my jam. Get a little bit of paint on your brush and then just start randomly sweeping. I realize right now the color looks really harsh and not that great, but just be patient because once we're finished it'll look really good. Now grab the first brush that you use and sweep over the top of the paint you just did. Since there's a little bit of white left on that brush, it helps blend things together. It's okay if you need to get a little bit more on there as well. This will even help blend it more. When I dipped the brush back into the paint, I actually got a little bit of gray paint on there as well, so it added even more character and dimension to it. Now let's move on to our letters. As you can see, I re-spray painted and you can't even tell where I messed up. The top row is going to say please, and the bottom row will say your hands. With the word please, we're actually going to start in the middle. So the E and the A are going to straddle the center line where the 2 cutting boards come together. This will help ensure that our words are centered. Once you have the center in place, you just keep building up the rest of the word. And if you find that you need to move any of the letters over or rearrange anything, these are very forgiving stickers, so it's no problem. Also notice that I lined up those letters with the bottom of that craft stick. For the bottom row, we also want to work on finding the center, so this is what I'm doing right here. I determined that the center is the H of hands and then a space directly to the left of it. So that means that the H is going to go directly to the right of the center line, but then to the left of the center line is going to be a space. So then I just put the R directly next to that, and then I keep building up my words. Now that we have please and your hands, it's time to move on to the word wash. And you guessed it, we also want to find the center of the word wash. Since wash is a 4-letter word, I know that the center falls between the A and the S. So the S is going to go directly to the right of the center line, and the A is going to go directly to the left of the center line. Once I have those 2 letters in place, I will just finish the rest of the word. To add a little decorative flair, I took one of the periods and put it directly to the right of the word wash, and then put one directly to the left of the word wash. Now it's time to glue down our rope. I honestly just use hot glue and I think it works perfectly fine for this. When I do glue down rope, I like to start in a corner because I feel like it makes for a really nice transition when the 2 ends meet up. It looks a lot better than if they meet up on some random side. And that's it, we are finished with the sign. I hope you had as much fun as I did, and if you do make a version of this, please tag me in it on Instagram because I would love to see it. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to my channel. Once you hit the subscribe button, make sure you click the notification bell next to it so you'll be notified anytime I upload new content. Also, you can follow me on Instagram.